Welcome back to Ash's Reality Recaps. This is Husbands Helping Husbands, The Bachelor. Stop the HUJU. This here is the HUJU. It is when the lady runs across the screen, leaps into the air, spreads her legs, and straddles the Bachelor. It's just kind of gotten old at this point. It looks incredibly awkward. Unfortunately, we saw it on the Golden Bachelor. It looked really awkward. It's just getting worse. In last night's episode, I think only 2 of the 4 actually did it. Just stop it. Just stop it. It's uncalled for. Stop the HUJU. Let's move on to the recap. Last night's episode is called Hometowns. The basis of Hometowns is that Joey gets to go to the hometown of each of the 4 ladies that are remaining and meet their families. Shocker. Hometowns. Now, during the first hometown, Joey ends up in New Orleans meeting Kelsey's family. He meets her at the park where she does the first HUJU of the episode, first HUJU of the season, where she runs across and leaps into the air. We want to stop that. Stop the HUJU. It's uncalled for. Well, after spending some time together in the park, they end up going to Kelsey's residence, which is supposedly a residence. It's probably a rented location, and meeting Kelsey's family. Now, prior to this, Kelsey makes comments throughout the season about anytime she sees a butterfly, she feels it's her mom. During a couple of the interviews, she sees some butterflies, so she feels very special that her mom's present. I think it's very sentimental. It's great touching the episode. Joey gets to talk to Kelsey's dad. They have some one-on-one conversation. He gets to see some photographs of Kelsey's mom and Kelsey when she was a child. And basically by the end of the episode, you can see there's a true connection between Kelsey and Joey. So looking pretty good there. They do kiss at the end, and then Joey's got to say bye and head on to his next hometown. Let's jump into that next hometown. So our next hometown is with Rachel. Now, Rachel's from Hawaii, but this hometown happens in California. Apparently, production figured Hawaii was just too far and too expensive to go to for some filming, even though we've already traveled around the entire world for the majority of the episodes. Hawaii was too far. So, Rachel's family comes to California. Now, they obviously have a rental property that they're using to film the episode. Well, unlike Kelsey, we don't get to see any one-on-one interaction between Rachel and Joey. They just show straight up at the party with Rachel's family. They go do some traditional Hawaiian activities. They make out at the end of it. It felt a little awkward. Rachel's family seemed pretty interested in Joey. They was happy that he was being part of the process. You could see they were both kind of skeptical of the entire process. So truly to me, at this point of the episode, I'm thinking, Rachel's going home. Rachel doesn't stand a chance. Well, the next hometown is with Daisy in Minnesota. And this is where we see the second HUJU of the episode. Stop the HUJU. It's awkward. Well, Daisy and Joey meet on Daisy's family's original Christmas tree farm. My wife and I was having a conversation. We don't know if the Christmas tree farm does this year-round, so if you know anything about this Christmas tree farm and this is just an actual way that it runs day in and day out, let me know. It felt like it was kind of staged. Just like my wife said, the hot cocoa was in actual cocoa mugs. It just seemed kind of out of place for the entire thing. But Joey meets Daisy on her family's previous Christmas tree farm. They do a wagon ride. They talk to some people there. It's a pretty cool interaction between the two of them. You can really see the interaction there, but you can still see that Daisy's kind of holding back a little bit. Well, they move on to Daisy's family, where she brings the entire family, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, friends, siblings. Literally everyone shows up for her hometown. There's true connection here. Both Daisy's mom and dad tell her that she needs to loosen up and just play into the situation. Just let it go and put it all out there. If you truly care about Joey, see what happens, do the best. Well, she actually does that. At the end of their little session, she tells Joey how she's feeling, that she's fallen in love with him, and you can see a true connection there. So our final hometown is with Maria. Now, Maria's from Canada. However, they met in Niagara Falls. Once again, why didn't they go back to Canada to meet Maria's family? Just kind of a question I want to throw out there, because now that's 2 of the hometowns that didn't actually happen in the lady's hometown. Now, what bothered me most about this interaction is the entire time that they introduced Maria's family, they played this Greek mobster music. It was just awkward, in my opinion. It was awkward. But hey, before that, Maria and Joey got to walk around Niagara Falls. They did one of the boat rides up underneath of the falls. It was surprising they didn't get as wet as you normally get riding that boat up there, so not really sure how far up the boat went. They may have pulled back because it just wasn't good for the cameras and whatnot. Don't know. Big question there. But anyhow, once Joey got to go meet the family, again, they kind of made the music sound like this whole mob situation. At the end of it, it got even more awkward because at this point, 3 of the 4 ladies have told Joey that they're falling in love with him. Maria kind of went, I really like you a lot. And it was very awkward. And Joey gave her a kiss, and he got in the car and drove away. So that brings us to the conclusion of our 4 hometown dates. So let's move into the rose ceremony. Well, guys, we get to the rose ceremony, and from left to right, we have Maria, Rachel, Daisy, and Kelsey. Now, because Maria's date ended so awkwardly with her saying she really likes Joey a lot, lo and behold, she asked Joey to step aside for a few minutes so she can have a conversation with him. So she grabs Joey and they walk off behind a helicopter in this hangar, and she tells him that she's falling for him. You can see this kind of weighs on Joey a little bit. And it's awkward because he stands there for a few minutes while Maria walks back out and gets in line, and then he saunters back out around from the helicopter and he starts handing out roses. So he hands a rose out to Daisy, and he hands a rose out to Kelsey, and now it's down to Maria and Rachel. And me and my wife are thinking, Rachel's going home. It's got to be Rachel going home because out of the 4 dates, she's the only one they didn't show one-on-one interaction. So it's got to be a God-given thing, right? Well, Joey shocks us all and says, Rachel, will you take this last rose? And Maria gets sent home. After opening up her soul and telling Joey that she's falling for him, Joey sends her home. Now, he walks outside with her, and he tells her, there's just a lot of questions I had between us, and I fought for you this entire season, but there's just, the more I fought for you, the more questions that came up, and, well, he sends her home. So, we end the episode down to 3 ladies, which is Rachel, Daisy, and Kelsey. We will jump into, I believe, Fantasy Suites next week, and we're winding down to the finale. But guys, hopefully this helps you understand what the hell's going on in this reality show. Hometowns. Joey went to the ladies' hometowns, met their families, asked their fathers for permission to marry their daughters. Some of them said yes, some of them said no. One said, you have my phone number when it gets to that point. At the end, he sent Maria home. And that is your Bachelor recap. Husbands helping husbands. Now go have a conversation with your wife, and hopefully you know what the hell she's talking about.